Good evening, students. Let us start the third and the last part of chapter 2 of Vistas, the Tiger King. We have seen that Maharaja was able to kill 99 tigers so far. Only one tiger was left to complete the tally of 100 tigers. So obviously, he was very much anxious to kill this last tiger so that he can complete his mission of killing 100 tigers and will safeguard himself against tigers. So this was what he was thinking about. His entire devotion was just to kill this last tiger. The Maharaja's anxiety reached a fever pitch when there remained just one tiger to achieve his tally of 100. This word fever pitch is used for extreme. Now see, he was quite anxious to kill this last tiger so that he can achieve or he can complete the tally of killing 100 tigers. He had this one thought during the day and the same dream at night. By this time, the tiger farms had run dry even in his father-in-law's kingdom. In our previous video, we have seen that his purpose of marriage was to get tiger population to kill more and more tigers, and this was the only reason why he got married to the girl from the state where there was maximum tiger population. And as during his visits he kept on killing tigers, so now the situation came there in the state of his father-in-law that no tigers left there in the forest, and it was impossible to find out or to locate any tiger. He was very much desperate. He was able to kill 99 tigers and it was only the last or the one tiger which was left. So obviously he was very much desperate to kill this last tiger, and he decided that after killing this tiger he will leave his hunting or he will give up hunting altogether, because obviously as per the prediction it was the last or 100 tiger that was that would be the cause of Maharaja's death. But he had to be extremely careful with that last tiger. What had the late chief astrologer said? Even after killing 99 tigers, the Maharaja should beware of the 100th. True enough, the tiger was a savage beast after all. This was basically the prediction that he should be very careful with this last tiger. This is what late astrologer, now this astrologer also died. And it's true. We can consider this tiger as a very dangerous animal, savage, wild animal, something that is very difficult to control. So obviously he need to be very careful with this last tiger. But the question was where to find this last tiger. It seemed easier to find tiger's milk than alive tiger. You see, the situation came when no tigers left there in the forests of his own kingdom, Pratibandhapuram. Even in his father-in-law's kingdom, no tigers left in the forest. Thus the Maharaja was sunk in gloom. Obviously this was the only thought that was there in his mind. He was, even after doing all the efforts, he was not able to find one last tiger. So he sunk in gloom. But soon a happy news came. A happy news came from one of the village of his own kingdom. And there was one small village in which it was on the hillside, and sheep were disappearing there at this particular village at a very fast pace. Now initially people thought that there were two notorious persons, Khadar Miya Sahib, Veerasamy Nayakar. They were quite notorious to kill sheep. So first they considered that might be this work of these two fellows, but when it was ascertained that they are not behind this disappearance of sheep, then finally villagers, they informed, they were quite excited and they informed king about this incident that might be some tiger is behind this disappearance of sheep from that village. Obviously Maharaja was quite happy. He was so happy that he exempted that particular village from all taxes for a period of 3 years, and he set out to hunt this tiger. But this tiger was very difficult, but king he was quite disappointed as he was not able to locate this tiger easily. It was very difficult to find this tiger. It seems as if deliberately this tiger hid himself, or he is determined actually to foil the plans of king. God knows what was the reason, but it was very difficult for king to locate this tiger. But king was quite adamant. He decided that he will not leave this forest unless he will kill this last tiger. So he stayed there along with hunters there in the forest, and he was trying to find out this tiger. As the days passed, he was getting angrier and angrier, and finally he was so angry that his anger, it reflected in the form of removal of many officers. Many officers, they lost their job. He was so angry, and obviously he was showing anger in this form. And one day, finally, when his rage was at its height, he called Diwan, and he ordered Diwan that land tax should be doubled. Now, obviously, it is something that that is not considered as a good decision for the people, or for those who were there in the village. So Diwan, he warned king that people will be discontented with this decision. Obviously, people will not accept this decision. Obviously, if people will not be happy with this decision, they would become part of Indian National Congress, the only political party which was there at that time. Now, when Diwan tried to make king, when Diwan was trying to make king understand this thing, he was not ready to listen, and what he said is that in that case, you may resign from your post. Now see, he is not even sparing his Diwan, and he is asking him that in such case, you would resign from your post. Now minister, he realized very clearly that the result of this anger might be disastrous, and it is required that king must find this last tiger, and if this tiger was not found soon, it would lead to destruction. So this was something that this minister thought, and finally minister, he was having one tiger at his home that he got from brought from People's Park in Madras. It was somewhere hidden. It was, this tiger was hidden there at his home. So he felt relieved that he will take this tiger there to the forest. Maharaja will kill this tiger, and in this way this tally of 100 tigers will be would be completed by the king. So finally, when everyone was sleeping at midnight, minister and his wife, both of them, they pulled this tiger which was there at their home. They pulled it there in the car, and they drove that car to the forest. It was this particular area was close to the camp where Maharaja was waiting for quite a long time, and he was just taking shelter there for some time to kill this tiger, to search this last tiger. So when they reached there, now this tiger, he refused to come out from the car, and it was very difficult time for minister to push him out of the car. So, but finally minister and his wife, they were quite successful in doing that. Now next morning, on the following day, the same old tiger wandered into Maharaja's presence and stood as if in humble supplication. Supplication, this word is used for pray or prayer. And he stood right in front of Maharaja in this gesture, as if he is asking Maharaja or king that, master, what do you command of me? This was the gesture of this tiger. Maharaja, as soon as he saw that I was waiting for this tiger for long, and see, now right in front of me this tiger is standing, so he just without wasting time, he took careful aim at the beast and shot the beast. The tiger fell in a crumpled heap. Obviously, Maharaja was quite happy. Maharaja was overjoyed because he was able to kill this last tiger and had fulfilled his vow. He was so happy that he has not stopped there, but he ordered the hunters who were with him that this last tiger should be brought to the capital in large procession. Procession is basically a parade, a sort of thing, and then he went away in his car. Obviously, his work there was completed. Now, when Maharaja left the forest, these hunters, they went close to this tiger and they took a closer look of this tiger, and they were surprised to find that this tiger was alive. Unfortunately, or you can say it was really surprising, it was quite surprising that King's bullet had missed the tiger. The tiger was only fainted, it was not dead, and now hunters were quite confused what to do, because they knew very well that in case if they will report King about this incident, he will be angry and might be they would lose their job. So they decided that they will not reveal this incident to the Maharaja, and they themselves shot it dead. And as per the orders, they took this dead carcass, this dead tiger, there to the town. It was buried there, and a beautiful tomb was erected there on this tiger's grave. So in this way, according to Maharaja, he was able to kill this last tiger. But reality was that he was not able to kill this tiger. Readers as well as others were aware of this. This situation is called as dramatic irony. Now, obviously, King was relaxed. He completed his vow to kill 100 tigers, and now he started taking care of his family as well as administration of the state. Now it was Maharaja's son's third birthday after few days. So there was a grand celebration. Now Maharaja, he decided that he should give some gift to his child, and that's why he went there to the shopping center in Pratibandpuram. He was searching a suitable birthday gift for his son. He searched every shop, but he was not satisfied with the things which were available there. He was not able to get a suitable gift, and finally in one of the shop he saw a wooden tiger. It was a tiger toy which was prepared by some craftsmen. So when Tiger King, or when King, he saw this toy tiger, he considered that this is the best gift for his son. He asked for the cost of this toy, this wooden tiger toy, but the shopkeeper, he was smart enough. This particular tiger, it cost only 2.25 annas. It was quite cheap, but he knew very well that in case if he is going to put this price to the king, he will be punished. So what he decided is that he said it costs 300 rupees. It is one of a perfect example of craftsmanship, and this particular toy costs 300 rupees. Maharaja said, okay, now this is a gift from your side to Crown Prince, and Maharaja took that toy tiger. Obviously, this toy tiger, which was quite cheap, it was prepared by some unskilled carpenter, and its entire surface was full of slivers. Now while King was playing with this with his son, and this toy tiger was with them, then one of the slivers, it pierced Maharaja's right hand. Maharaja just put it out and continued to play with the prince. But very next day, there was a lot of infection in the Maharaja's right hand due to that particular wooden sliver, and within 4 days this infection, it turned into a wound which was full of pus, and it spread it there over his right arm. Uh, Three famous surgeons, they were called from Madras, and these, after consultation, these surgeons, they decided to operate upon the king. And after the operation, these surgeons, they came out from the theatre, and they declared that this operation was successful and the Maharaja was dead. Now see, operation was successful and Maharaja was dead. This was what these doctors, these surgeons, they said. The wooden tiger was the last tiger, or the 100th tiger that had killed the king Jang Jang Bahadur and made that astrologer's prediction true. So in this way, this last or 100th tiger took revenge upon the tiger king and killed him. In the beginning of the chapter, we discussed about this chapter, that this is a satire on the conceit of those who are rich. See, king considered himself as a powerful person. He heard about a prediction which was made there when he was a very young child, and he decided to kill all the tigers. Now, is it possible that whatever is destined, you can change your destiny? It is not possible, but still he considered that he is powerful enough and he can change that. And for that he kept on killing tigers. But see, he was not destined to be killed by a live tiger or a tiger with flesh and blood. He was killed by a toy tiger. So in this way we have completed this chapter.